want for Christmas is tools. It's like if Mariah Carey and Dolly Parton had a baby. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that you are new to the world of doing things yourself, for whatever your reasons may be. Maybe you just purchased your first house, or you're currently the only capable adult in the house, or maybe you just want to do it because you want to save a little bit of money and it's kind of fun. But what holds a lot of people up is not having the right tools or just not knowing what tools you need. So I'm going to try to give you some ideas based on my experience on how you can get the most bang out of your buck, or since it's Christmas, the most bang out of someone else's buck. By the way, all the tools I'm going to talk about today are under $100. Let's talk about drills, baby. I like a corded drill as opposed to a battery-powered drill. It's lighter weight and you don't have to worry about the batteries going dead on you all the time. And I'm not normally in a situation where I don't have access to a power outlet. So for me, a corded drill works. And you don't need to get the biggest and baddest drill in the world. This one is from Craftsman. I bought it at Sears about 10 or 12 years ago. Don't see too many of these anymore. Another thing that you definitely need is a set of drill bits. You may not realize this when you buy the drill, but it doesn't automatically always, maybe there are kits that do, but it doesn't always come with a set of drill bits like this. You definitely want to get a kit that has one of these little extender pieces because sometimes you're in narrower spaces that you can't actually get your drill into. This particular kit's made by Ryobi, but they're universal, so you can get any brand. There are a lot of saws out there, but the ones that I have found to be the most helpful are my circular saw and my jigsaw. This jigsaw has actually been the most valuable tool to me. A jigsaw can cut straight lines, it can cut curved lines, it can cut notches out of things. The drawback to a jigsaw, though, is that it's not terribly precise. If you want to cut a lot of straight lines, you're better off with the circular saw. One thing to note, though, is that you want to make sure you get the right kind of blade for whatever it is you're sawing. You wouldn't want to use the same blade that you use for a 2x4 or plywood as you would for something like laminate, which is much more delicate. And again, with a circular saw, you can do miter cuts, which is really great for doing trim work or cutting quarter round. Basically a poor man's table saw. And table saws are great, but they're very expensive and they take up a lot of space. It's really not all that practical for the average person who's just going to cut wood every once in a while. So in that case, circular saw is fantastic. This is the only electric sander that I own. It's a palm sander. It's made by DeWalt. I've had it a little over 20 years. It does every project that I need, and what I really love about it is the sanding paper that you can use. You can buy specialty cut pieces, but you can actually just take a full-size sheet of sandpaper, tear it into, you don't even have to cut it, you can just tear it into 4 different pieces, equal pieces, quarters, and you just pop it off like this, tuck it right in there, you pull this tight, and that's it. You don't have to spend a lot of money on specialty cut pieces of sandpaper. Since we're talking about sanders, I'm just going to bring up my Dremel real quick. It has all these different little attachments and bits that you can buy. You can do all kinds of cool stuff with them, but they're really more of a intricate specialty tool. It's not necessarily something you're going to need right away, but you might want to graduate to it eventually because they are actually pretty cool. This kit I bought for myself, which was about 50, 60 bucks. It did come with some of the standard bits for it. It's actually kind of a nice gift if you know somebody who's really into crafting and doesn't already have one. The downside of a Dremel is that the bits are really expensive. They get you with the bits. This one is a little bit outside of the box in terms of what you would normally consider a power tool, but this is a portable air compressor. This one's made by Air. There are other companies out there. You can buy these for about 50, 60 bucks on Amazon. This particular one plugs into the auxiliary outlet in your car. We used to call that the cigarette lighter back when smoking was legal. And this is immeasurably helpful. I've used it on car tires, bike tires, balls. I've helped out friends and neighbors, and I even used it to pump up the thermal expansion tank on my water heater when I replaced that. Super handy thing to have around when you really need it. One more thing you might want to consider is a shop vac. This is the one I use down here in my workshop to suck up all the sawdust. I've also used it to suction up water when I've had leaks, and it can also be used as a blower. Definitely a very versatile tool to have. This one is well under $100. It is not the strongest or the biggest one. This one's only about 2 horsepower. They make these big, huge industrial sized ones that you can roll around. I haven't found a need to upgrade to that at this point, even with everything that I do. So definitely another worthwhile tool to have in your arsenal. As I mentioned at the beginning, all of these tools can be purchased for under $100, and they're the tools that I have found to be the most versatile and useful over the last 10 or 15 years. But if you've had an experience with another tool that I didn't list here, please feel free to comment below, maybe include a link, so that we can all take a look, because I love me some power tools. For whatever your raisins may be. Raisins. Raisins? Y'all, I really do try to temper the accent, but sometimes it just comes out. Oh, that's it. It's a wrap. Get it? Wrap.